This is Josh Kincaid, Superchronics, representing Baked in Awake podcast. I'm here to give you my final recap on MJ BizCon, but I thought it might be a good idea to tell you what it is. So, the annual MJ BizCon is a 3-day event, brings a whole bunch of people together. There's exhibitors, there's speakers, there's industry professionals, investors, entrepreneurs, all kinds of people, all at the same place, the Las Vegas Convention Center. There was 27,600 people this year, up from 18,000 last year, and over 1,000 booths. I think there's 1,080 booths this year. 150 speakers, more than 65 sessions. So it took a while. I hustled the first day. It took me 4 hours to see all of the booths. I think it was 10,600 steps, maybe 5 miles. And I was exhausted, but got to see a lot. So I'm going to kind of give you a quick recap, I guess. If you were there and you went to some of the speakers, you might hear an analysis of the trends, latest industry data updates, or how to prepare your business for large corporate competitors, the future of fundraising, latest capital market trends. They may present the future of science and research or top strategies for navigating regulatory hurdles. I don't particularly pay the extra $200 to go to those. It's already $400 to get in. It's expensive on top of your airfare and hotel and all of that. When I've done it in the past, I have gone to some of the capital market trends and what's new, and they talk about a small business association loan and a credit card advance, and I really didn't get anything out of it, and they're early, okay, and that's also important. So to get there by 9, when you've been at a party that's been hosted by Dope Magazine for their Golden Ticket Party, or High Times, or Arcane Reverie had a really nice Wonderland party, or the Hard Rock that throws an awesome local cup. You don't necessarily want to wake up at 9 a.m. and go to something that's not worth your time or money, and so really you have to weigh those out. But what I did find interesting was just the sheer scope. Basically, when I talked to people, that's kind of the feedback I got, was the size and how big it was and how many people were there. And a lot of people didn't even go in. They just chose not to pay the money at all and hung out outside. There was probably a couple hundred people out there smoking at any time of day. And there's a lot of people who got value out of it. So it's kind of interesting. I probably saw more lighting companies than I needed to. There's high pressure sodium bulbs that I think were used in street lights in the 1880s, and they're still trying to sell those to indoor growers. And maybe back to the scope, somebody trying to sell, a half-ton grinder for $65,000. And I can't think of anybody outside of California or Canada that would need or want a huge, massive grinder. There was a booth specifically for Canadian IPOs, so I'm not sure if that means we're at a bubble, but there's a lot of CBD companies out there, and I'm not sure that their brands are going to survive. If I'm wrong, leave a comment. Love to your feedback. I just don't think branding is where it needs to be. I think it's about revenue, it's about sales, it's about surviving, and your brand means nothing right now, although I think we're at that precipice. It's the cusp that's kind of turning to an opportunity. Coca-Cola coming in, buying these companies in Canada. That's going to happen here, but you've got to get to that point. A lot of packaging companies, I find that interesting, but I just think that the margins are there. I don't think they really offer a whole lot of different stuff. It's kind of like the soil companies back in the day. You don't see too many of them anymore, thank God. What I'd like to see more of is innovative ancillary products. I want to see more toys, and I think the lack of innovation, I think, has a lot to do with the inability for cannabis companies to have traditional banking access to loans and financing, and still the expense of minimal viable products to 3D print. A stupid fucking idea is still expensive. If it costs a couple $1,000s, it's going to limit their ability to scale if they can't go in and get that financing. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'd like to see some more of, is some cool stuff. We have access to the world's largest 3D printer in the world, so stay tuned for that. Some of their clients right now are Department of Defense and Boeing, and so we're able to take a concept to print in 6.5 hours and do that cheap. They also have packaging for Walmart, so all of that is about to get much, much cheaper. Stay tuned. That is my recap for Baked and Wake. This is Josh Superchronics. I'm out.